Well, as you watch this video, do you have yourself 50,000 lying idle in your bank account? Let me repeat. Do you have 50,000 lying idle in your bank account? And you're wondering, what exactly can you do with this amount of money? All right. This is the video that I'm going to make with you, and I'm going to share with you step by step. It's only 15 minutes. For God's sake, stay put. Watch this video to the end. Might be the video that changed your life. Can you imagine living somewhere and talking to people like, you know what? My life was completely changed by virtue of me watching a certain video back then, and it changed my life. And by the way, if you're watching me for the first time, you've never seen this face, this is Good Joseph. And what do? I post these kind of videos each and every day about savings. I give you that small, very effective tips that can help you a lot. Not because that I know everything, but because there's something that perhaps I can share with you. I'm a subscriber of Just Like an Iron Sharpens Another Iron, so do we learn from each other. Let's get on the board now. By the way, don't forget to subscribe, turn that notification bell, and keep me updated. Oh, by the way, okay, now see, if you have as little as 50,000 lying idle, and this is idle in a bank account, okay, in a bank account. Listen, when I say 50K idle, what is an idle money? An idle money is uncommitted money. What is uncommitted money? It's uncommitted money. It's just a saved, nothing but saved money. It's a money that is not, commanded to do something. It's just there, it's just accumulated. It's like taking 10K, throwing somewhere and keeping it there. It's doing nothing. It's not investing. It's not bringing in. It's not just like that. So that is what we call the idle money. And I remember when I was growing up in my primary school, my teacher used to tell me, an idle mind is whose workshop? Definitely. Now, see, if you have this idle money, guess what happens? If you have the money that is not committed, you end up using it by anything. You buy something or you get something, then maybe something is worth, say, 10K, you realize you have 50K, then you tend to tell yourself, I qualify to buy that thing. So you stop doing that. So if you have 50,000, this is what I want you to do, as little as that. Now, number one, first of all, let's talk with what we call the emergency fund. That is what you're supposed to start with. And this is what I always encourage people. Even before starting to invest, you must first start with the what? First is an emergency fund. That's what you're supposed to. And I would encourage you, take as little as 15K out of the 50,000, as little as 15K. Have this money, you can leave it there in that particular account for an emergency fund, of which I cannot encourage you to do that because that money is idle and of course is eaten away by the inflation. So what do? You can take the 15,000, throw it in an emergency fund account, and I highly recommend a what? A money market fund. Now you have that money in a money market fund. You can go to the same bank and ask for an MMF. Most of those banks, they have that MMF, but they rarely tell you. Go to that MMF, throw that 15,000 for an emergency fund. You know what is the function of an emergency fund? Just in case of anything, you have that protective layer. Are we together? Now you go to the next level. The next level is asking yourself, what can I invest in these particular areas? Number one, I would say, or the second step that you take, pick an MMF which offers you liquidity and invest as little as 25,000 in that thing. Now, this is when now you're seriously investing. I know you'll be like, what? But you told me to put some cash in an emergency fund for an MMF. True, you can have more than one MMF. You can have one dedicated for an emergency fund. Then you can have another one that is dedicated for an investment. You have yourself as little as 25,000, throw it in there. See what I'm doing when I say have this in a money market fund, which is liquidity, because I know some of you might be confused. What does the term liquidity means? This simply means that this money can be accessed at any given moment. Are we together? This money can be, you kind of still have your money, but it's only that it's not now idle, it's committed, it's doing something for you. Again, you can pick a different MMF. It doesn't have to be the bank where you have, you can pick another one and throw that 25,000 out there. Are we together? Much we're going to talk about it, but let me introduce the third thing. Now, when it comes to the third thing, you can decide to take as little as 5K. Now, get yourself into stocks, stroke shares. Are you together? This is where now you become one of the shareholders of one of the biggest and the best performing companies. Are we together? And I know you're about to ask me, Joseph, oh my goodness, sounds so good, but I don't know how to buy shares. It's okay, just relax, no problem, okay? You can actually call me. Okay, you can actually call me, and basically that's my number. You can call me, give me a call, and I'll be able to take you through step by step. And this 0, you can substitute it with 254. If you get that, That's my number. You can shoot me a call. I can take you step by step on how to buy shares for just a cup of coffee's price. Or you can actually purchase my booklet about shares, which is only 280 shilling. You can get all the information about shares. Now, see, when I say you buy shares, by the way, there are higher chances of making more money on shares than it is to a money market fund. Again, because it is regarded as moderate to high risk in terms of investment. And that's why I did not put quite huge chunk of cash into it. I only put as little as 5,000 into that investment. Again, when we talk about stocks or shares, this is usually regarded as a what? A long term. Shares is not the where you put your money and then the next month you're looking at it. Even after 1 year, it's not an area where you keep on checking at it, what's going on there. You buy shares, you kind of quote unquote, leave it there, kind of forget about it, and it actually does the wonders. Because with the shares, you can actually earn in two ways. Been talking about this like a million times. Number one, you can earn through what we call a dividends. Okay. Now, the other thing you can actually earn through something called a capital gain. Capital gain simply means, you buy shares at a particular price, then that share appreciates to a particular price, then you can resell it, of course, with a profit. Now, that increment between how much you bought and how much you're selling is what we call the capital gain. Are we together? Now, see, now you're becoming now an investor. What happens when it comes to all these investments is that you can also have another investment called index fund. Another thing that I would like you to put this money is something called index fund, and that is the point number 4. You can have 5K in a what? In an ETF. Oh, wow, Joseph, you've now introduced another animal that I've never had. Sounds so complicated. Indeed, it's not complicated, all right? Let me take you step by step. When we talk about ETF, okay, extended traded funds, simply it monitors the performance of an index. Oh my goodness, what does that mean? Okay, an index is a combination. It's several shares pulled together. And then instead of buying one share, you kind of buy shares of several companies put together. For example, in Kenya, there are several index funds that you can go for. All share 25, NSE 25, NSE 20, all those kind of things you can be able to do. But if you ask me right now, the kind of an ETF that I would recommend you go for, there is this new ETF, not actually that new per se. It's called, oh my goodness, is it called Gold? Yeah, I actually have on my newspaper here. It's actually called the Gold something. Yeah, let me check it. Hang on. New Gold ETF. Yeah, it's right here. By the way, I buy these papers like almost every day. So it's called the New Gold ETF. And what does that mean? And what is it in the first place? New Gold ETF, let me put it here. New Gold ETF. It is actually an ETF that is offered by Absa Bank. And they monitor the performance of a real-time gold. How can I say this? If you buy this ETF, it is actually monitoring the performance of a real gold, pure real gold. It's okay. By the way, maybe perhaps you've been asking yourself, how can I buy gold? Now, this is kind of a way of doing such, because if you buy that ETF, and it's actually it's a fraction of that particular gold. It's a fraction of an ounce of a gold. Therefore, it monitors the performance of a gold. So if the gold goes high, definitely that ETF will go high. Right now, as you speak, it's around, let me see, it's around 3,700. That is 3,700, that 3,755. That's like how many days ago? This newspaper is for the 8th of April. I'm making this video on the 9th of April. Yeah, definitely. It's like a day. That's literally yesterday. So if you get this 5,000, you can buy that ETF and you can actually put there and you'll be like, you know what? I'm a gold investor with as little as 5,000 because you have an ETF that monitors the performance of gold. And if you ask me, I'm seeing the world turning out to mean a different case. For example, stock markets, they're actually going down. And of course, you find that people tend to, invest in, for the wise people actually invest in this stock market as much as they're going down because it is usually the best time to do that. And on top of that, you also find like, we have this wealthy people and people who love to diversify their investment, and you find most of them actually chunky, throwing their money into buying the gold. So therefore, the price of gold is actually going high and high. And of course, if you get yourself a hand in that particular ETF, then definitely it means that you are winning. Now, let us go back to our board here. Remember, we started by you having as little as 50,000, and you are confused. You didn't know what to do, and you're asking yourself, with this 50,000, what exactly can I do? See, we had protected ourselves by virtue of us having an emergency fund. Always do that. Just have an emergency fund, okay? Now, we say that one, put it a money market fund, a whole of a new money market fund. Now, second one, we said open now a serious money market fund for purposes of investment. And you can actually go ahead and throw in your 25,000 out there. That MMF is liquidity, meaning you can withdraw your money at any given time. In case again in future you get some cash, you can throw it in there at any given moment in time. And if you do not have any money coming in soon, nobody will actually punish you by not, throwing in some cash into that particular investment. Okay. Now, after doing that, go ahead and have your some other cash into buying stocks, shares, with as little as 5,000. And with as little as 5,000 in Kenya, you qualify to buy several number of companies. By the way, almost, wow, not even almost, over 35 companies. Over that, we have 63 listed companies. Or for those who understand the issues of shares, we have 63 PLCs, that is public listed companies, meaning we have 63 companies that anyone can buy shares for. Now we're together. Now with 5,000, you qualify as much as 35 around there. And you can actually decide. Several banks you qualify. You can buy a couple of hundreds of shares of some companies, some even 1,000. For example, if you buy shares that cost as little as 2 shilling, and you have yourself as 2 shillings per share, you can have a couple of thousand out of that. You're good to go. Okay, you're now a stock investor, isn't it? And the last one, again, you are into the index fund. And the index funds are quite way safer compared to stocks. Can you just imagine? You have that portfolio of diversification. Very nice portfolio of diversification. Your money is not idle. Your money is giving birth to other money. And by the way, the moment you start seeing the money coming in from these investments, that's where the motivation comes in, the zeal, and all those kind of things. So anyway, guys, don't forget, if you're floating, yeah, sure, you might have gotten the value, but hey, I would like to have a one-on-one session. That's my number. Give me a call. Let's talk business. All right. That's what we do. Okay. Not because I know everything. Come on. Because there's something I might know that you don't. Just like, because I also believe you have something that I don't know and you know. That is it. We are here to, for God's sake, there is a reason why we are over 8 billion of us on this world. This is Good Joseph as always. Make sure that you subscribe, turn that notification bell, make sure that you subscribe, leave a comment on the comment section, and see you the next time.